This film is sponsored by New York Life and its dedicated agents, proud sponsors of NFL Team Highlight Films. New York Life, the company you keep.
Showtime in the Dome.
All right, middle of the rack kick, base kick, kicks off, kick ass. Ready?
In 1992, the New Orleans Saints proudly carried on a tradition of winning that has become their trademark over the last 6 seasons.
In good shape. Hebert steps up, throws. It's caught by Hilliard at the 2. He scores.
In 1992, the Saints won 12 games, tying their previous all-time single-season victory mark. They sent 6 players to the Pro Bowl, including all 4 of their starting linebackers. And by earning a wild card berth, they qualified for the playoffs for the 3rd straight season. But while the Saints can look back on 1992 with pride, they know that they cannot simply stand on their laurels. A whole new era is dawning in the NFL, and the New Orleans Saints are ready for it. The 1992 season was a success, but the Saints are looking to 1993 and beyond, where great expectations await them. After 7 seasons with the Saints, Jim Mora now stands as a dean among NFC coaches. It's a testament to his skills as a teacher that he is the architect of one of the most fundamentally sound franchises in the league. Mora's philosophy is simple. Control the ball, and you control the game. Thanks to a deep and versatile group of runners, the Saints consistently rate with the league's best when it comes to time of possession. The ability to spread the ball around and utilize all their many weapons gave New Orleans one of the NFL's most diverse passing attacks. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have the league's finest group of pass blockers.
Here's what you're going to do. Take a good L slide step, lose some ground, put a stop sign up, but make sure you take the hit off the quarterback. He can't take those hits like that.
In 1992, the Saints ranked second only to the 49ers in average yards per pass. And it was this improved aerial attack that had them averaging over 30 points a game in victories over the Bears, Cardinals, Patriots, and division rival Los Angeles Rams.
Fake handoff, roll to the right, look to the end zone, a throw to Eric Martin, caught it to 2, he's into the end zone for the score. Shotgun, Hebert to pass, throws over the middle, caught by Small at the 10, first down to the 5, touchdown.
However, with the NFL second-ranked defense, they didn't always have to score a lot of points.
Yeah, it's all cutback. Just like we thought, Higgs going to take the ball, and he's going to bring it back. So in the eye stuff, make sure you stay solid. That's all. Just what we know what we got to do. We're all right.
Led by the Pro Bowl-bound Dome Patrol, the Saints' defense can best be described as terrorizing. New Orleans topped the NFL with 57 sacks. And for the second year in a row, they were the toughest to score upon, yielding a team record low 202 points. But what has come to characterize the Saints' special brand of defense is their ability to literally go on the offense. Once again, the Saints were among the league leaders in forcing turnovers. Troy Cook led the way, picking off 6 passes, third best in the NFC. As always, where there was a loose football, there was a large number of interested Saints.
Harbaugh back to pass on second and short.
Yeah!
Up the would-be receiver Lewis intercepted. He may go all the way. He's going to score to the 30, 20, 10, touchdown. Reggie Jones. How about that?
By registering their 5th winning season over the last 6 years, the Saints have continued to build upon a master plan for success, first begun when owner Tom Benson arrived in 1985. In 1986, veteran general manager Jim Finks came aboard, and a winning trifecta was completed when Jim Mora took over as head coach. Through the efforts of these 3 men, the Saints have come from back of the pack to be a perennial NFL frontrunner. It was in 1987 when the Saints first captivated an earthly and heavenly audience. In just his 2nd year as head coach, Jim Mora's Saints became first-time winners.
Fourth and goal from the 1. Pitching it to Pollard, sweeping left. He stops short of the goal line. The Saints are winners for the first time.
From 1987 to their championship season of 1991, winning has become a habit for Mora's men.
Let me tell you something. You guys deserve to be the NFC West champs. You're the best football team in this damn division. A hell of a job. Feel good about it. I'm proud of you. Be happy. Enjoy it. You're the champs of the NFC West. Way to go.
Success has led to worldwide appeal, and what the Saints did in England in 1990, they hope to do again in this year's American Bowl in Japan. Indeed, the Saints' rise in popularity has been so spectacular that in 1992, 3 preseason and 6 regular season games were nationally televised. One of those broadcasts was the season ender in the Meadowlands.
Behind Browning-Nagle, who's back to pass on 3rd down, has the ball taken out of his hands by Sam Mills. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. He'll score. 40, 30, 25, 20. He'll dance to the end zone. The Saints get a turnover, and Sam Mills just stole the ball away from Browning-Nagle, who had his arm cocked to throw, but never was able to pull the trigger.
I'm telling you, he just absolutely stole it from him.
The moss-covered vines, the tall sugar pines, where mockingbirds used to sing. Do you know what it means to miss New Orleans and miss it each night and day? I know I'm not wrong, the feeling's getting stronger the longer I stay away.
The city of New Orleans. To put it bluntly, there is no town in the U.S. quite like it. Just ask Archie Manning, the retired Saint quarterback who continues to make the Crescent City the site of his home and business. New Orleans' unique cultural attractions and quaint southern charm often obscure a rich tradition of competitive sports. There's world-class thoroughbred racing, lush golf courses that attract the PGA Tour, periodic hosting of the NCAA's Final Four, and of course, the Super Bowl. But the toughest seat to get is to a Saints game, where the NFL's most enthusiastic fans are as much a part of the sport as the players themselves.
See if we can make y'all smile in the dome today. Know it.
Hey, let's make a difference in the outcome of this ball game, team. Start it right here. Get this crowd going. We're the champs, baby. We're the champs. We're going to totally match up. Everybody get out. Let's go. Ready?
Welcome to New Orleans, baby. Thunderdome, Cajun Crunch.
Have a pull right at home.
Long ride up north.
Bear out of the shotgun, snap back in good shape, throw to the end zone, touchdown Saints, Eric Martin. Well, they deserve to be heard for a while.
And they might have helped win this game with that kind of noise.
Yes, sir. Things are always rocking in the Superdome. And it never rocked more than during a wild 11-day stretch in the autumn of 1992, when the Saints played host to 3 crucial games. The Redskins never reached the end zone, while a balanced New Orleans offense easily controlled the ball, giving the Saints their biggest victory over Washington in nearly 20 years.
Hebert gets the snap, back in good shape, steps back at the 12, being rushed out of the pocket, rolls to the right, still rolling, looks, throws to the end zone, caught, touchdown, Quinn Early.
And we're going to be on top of Marino today, too. All day long, all day long. It's the only way you can win these types. Gotta pressure Marino. Gotta pressure Marino.
If you don't pressure Dan Marino, this is what he does. Fortunately, the Saints began to heed Swilling's words. In one of their most inspiring efforts of 1992, the Saints defense sacked the normally well-protected Marino 5 times and pressured the Miami quarterback into a pair of game-turning turnovers.
Page in motion. Marino back to pass. He's hit by Swelling. Fumbles the ball. It's picked up by the Saints. Will score. 25-yard fumble return. The Saints have broken the tie with a defensive touchdown. Oh, yeah. Page is a flanker on the right. Marino back to pass. Looks upfield. Throws. It's intercepted by the Saints at the 30-yard line. Linsbach down to the 25-20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. He scores! And Block throws the football into the fans in the Fortress Street end zone.
Great job. Hey, listen up. Hey, there's a lot of ways to win a football game, fellas. But what it boils down to is fighting hard every down, because you never know when that play is going to make a difference, right? You battle, you battle, you battle, all of a sudden, wham, something good happens. You take advantage of it, and it's a difference right there. A hell of a job today. Man, I'll tell you what, that was a fight. You did a good job. I'd like to give you the day off tomorrow, but we're going to be right back here in Fort Haven. We'll go to work. Hell of a job.
Against the Falcons, it was the combination of one strong foot and a number of soft hands that pushed New Orleans closer to the playoffs. The ever-reliable Morton Anderson booted home 5 field goals. And another memorable moment came when he split the uprights on a 65-yard kickoff. Despite outgaining the Falcons by over 200 yards, this grueling third game in 11 days was a struggle. In the end, a dominant Saints defense that had limited Atlanta to just 19 minutes of offense put it away for good.
1:04 remaining. Wilson to pass. Looks in the flat. Throws. Yeah! It's intercepted by Toycook to the 40. 35-30. 25-20. 15. 10. 5. Did he score? Touchdown! Oh, my! 47.
The Saints prevailed. They were on their way to the playoffs for the 3rd straight year. The first 30 minutes of this NFL wildcard game was a microcosm of everything that was successful about the Saints season. They controlled the ball, dictated the pace of the game, and took an early 7-0 lead.
Split backfield. Handoff goes to Hayward over right tackle. Touchdown Saints. It's 6-0 with 9:20 remaining in the first period. Hayward gets the touchdown.
The Saints defense contained the always dangerous Randall Cunningham and limited the Eagles to a single first-half touchdown.
Small in motion out of slot right to the left with Vaughn Dunbar behind Hebert. Straight back to pass, looks, throws for the corner of the end zone. Is it caught?
After taking a 17-7 halftime lead, the Saints appeared to be on the verge of their first ever postseason victory. But it was not to be. A talented Philadelphia Eagles team, finding themselves in a desperate position, returned to their living on the edge ways. It proved to be the Saints' undoing. A proud season came to a painful end. But the playoff loss only strengthened the Saints' resolve to continue to improve their team. In the span of just a few seasons, the New Orleans Saints have built a tradition of winning. And all Saints players, young and old, can hold their heads high when looking back at an example of that tradition, the season of 1992. But teams don't improve by reliving the past. The New Orleans Saints have been hard at work at building for the future. There's a new practice facility on the drawing board. Work is being done on the already modern Superdome. But it's the players that bring home a winner, and Jim Mora likes what he sees.
I feel good about 1993. We were a good football team, and yet we're not satisfied with what we've accomplished. We want to do better. I think we've got a great nucleus. We've got a philosophy. We've got a nucleus of players. They're knowledgeable. They're smart. They work hard. They're not content with. They want to be winners. They want to be the best, and they're going to do what it takes. And that's what you need to have from everybody within the organization to be successful. We've got a pretty good blend of experience and youth. And if we can get a little bit better, if we can start the 93 season a little bit better than we finished the 92 season from a standpoint of personnel and how we coach and all of those areas, then I'm going to feel good, and there's no reason why we can't if we do the things that we need to do during the off season.
The NFL is entering a whole new era, and the Saints are ready for it. From the day Tom Benson arrived, the total commitment to winning has never wavered. Youth, experience, and a solid football foundation have the Saints looking to the 1993 season and beyond with great expectations.
Hi, I'm Steve Sable, and we're going to show you some New Orleans Saints classics. The Saints' recent success, 5 winning seasons in 6 years, 3 straight playoff appearances, is a far cry from the futility this franchise encountered during its first 2 decades. But even though the Saints were 20-year losers, they won the hearts of their fans. And from the very beginning, in 1967, when they were warmly welcomed to New Orleans, the Saints have become as much a part of Crescent City tradition as Cajun cooking, Preservation Hall jazz, and Bourbon Street.
All Saints Day, 1966. Pro football finally comes to New Orleans.
Well, I think Russell Long and Hale Boggs made it clear that if New Orleans didn't get a franchise, there could be some investigation into the National Football League's practices as to whether or not it was a monopoly.
And I said, Archbishop, here's the thing. I want you to tell me whether you think it would be sacrilegious to have the Saints as a name for the football team. He said, no, indeed. He says, it would be a perfect name. And he says, besides, I have this terrible feeling that somehow we're going to need all the extra help we could get.
It was like a burst of fire that was waiting to be lit, and with the oxygen that was in New Orleans, and that happened in the 60s. And it brought us together in more ways than I think one could imagine.
The question was whether or not the people could afford, you know, the price of the Major League ticket, and that was quickly dispelled the minute the Saints opened that box office. Since the very beginning, it has been a great love affair. I mean, there's this great anticipation in just an average game. Well, you can imagine the first kickoff of the first game for our now beloved Saints. And the ball is kicked basically to the goal line, and Gilliam runs it all the way back for a touchdown. I mean, the stands went absolutely wild, absolutely wild.
Indeed, rookie John Gilliam's touchdown on the first play in franchise history touched off a tumult in Tulane Stadium. Out of this initial hysteria emerged the first generation of Saints heroes.
271! Hey!
Quarterback Billy Kilmer took center stage, and the Saint Air game took wing, with veteran pass catchers such as Dave Parks joining a Polish kid from Steubenville, Ohio named Danny Abramowitz.
Hey, 71s too are good, Bill. Threes into the short side like that. I can get this guy on turnout snap. Turnout in the short side. Let's do it in the short side. Turnouts into the short side, Bill.
Okay, Danny, run a 70-foot turnout on the short side.
Danny Abramowitz, a genuine competitor, headstrong from the very beginning.
The dreaded sound always is the rookies that knock on the door and bring your playbook, and finally one day it was me. So I left my playbook, I went right downstairs, because all I had done during the exhibition season was basically run down on special teams and things. I'd never played in the game as a wide receiver. And I went into Coach Fears and told him that you didn't give me a chance to play, that I'm not leaving. And he sort of was put back, and he says, you're not joking, are you? I says, I'm as serious as I could be.
And so he stayed, catching passes in 105 consecutive games, often risking life and limb running routes into the so-called charm of Old Tulane Stadium.
Real danger wasn't just the hedges, but the fact that the ground crew there at Tulane would prune those things. So there would be, in addition to the green leaves sticking out there, there would be stubs sticking out that could really poke you. So they had some real problems catching balls going into the end zone.
Remember Al Hurt going absolutely bananas. Al was our official cheerleader. He had the microphone in his hand. I doubt if that would ever happen again. I think the league would ever let an Al Hurt cheer with a public address mic.
But in those early years, neither Al Hurt's horn nor Ben Har's heroics could guide the Saints' chariot to the promised land of victory. Yet somehow it didn't seem to matter that much, for Sunday afternoons at Old Tulane Stadium had so much more to offer.
Here's the snap. The ball is down. Dempsey kicks. It's on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. It's good. The Saints have won. The Saints have won. The Saints have won. The Saints have won.
Tom Dempsey's 63-yard field goal is one of the most enduring NFL records. And that's really astonishing when you consider how far the art of place kicking has come in the last 25 years. For example, in the 1960s, when Tom Dempsey first came up, there were only a handful of soccer-style kickers, and only 52% of field goal attempts were made. Today, the straight-ahead kicker is extinct. Soccer-style rules, and overall field goal accuracy is nearly 80%. And yet, no one, not even the big hitters like Nick Lowry and Morton Anderson, have come close to Tom Dempsey's remarkable achievement.
During a 10-year professional career, Tom Dempsey was a much-traveled place kicker for 6 different NFL teams, experiencing equal measures of joy and sorrow. But for one glorious moment in 1970, Tom Dempsey was the greatest kicker who ever lived.
Tom Dempsey will try to kick the longest field goal in National League history. They're sending him on with 2 seconds left. Scarpetti will hold. Here's the snap. The ball is down. Dempsey kicks. It's on the way. It is good. It's good. It's good. The Saints have won. The Saints have won. The stadium is wild. Dempsey is being mobbed. The time has run out. The Saints have won 19-17. Dempsey with a 63-yard field goal. The longest field goal in the history of the National League.
It was an emotional experience, something that you would like to relive again. I know sometimes I'm laying there in bed thinking about that particular moment. You know, that had to be one of the highlights of my life, and how you would really like to live it over again. There are times in my life now when my day doesn't go well. When you're in the real world, which I am now, and I have to sell every day, it's not just producing on Sundays, it's producing every day now to keep your job. And I haven't had a good day. I walk in the house and I look up there, I've still got the football. And I can sit down and I say, well, one day I wasn't too bad.
The 63-yard game winner was miraculous, but Tom Dempsey was not surprised. The biggest miracle of all was that he ever made it to the NFL. He was born with a deformed right hand and foot, as well as a burning desire to succeed.
With the Saints, when we first got started, we had, obviously, a zillion guys come. Everybody from the parking lot came in so they could kick. So one day they said, oh, we got this other guy coming up to kick, and I saw Tom, and he's got the deformed ham and the deformed foot. Well, he started popping those dudes too. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, they were just flying. I said, that sucker can kick that ball farther than you ever seen anybody in your whole life.
With Tom Dempsey's wrecking ball right foot, the Saints were never out of field goal range. The competitive fires that had led Tom Dempsey to the top burned brightly during those early years in New Orleans and lit the way to the remarkable events of November 8th, 1970.
Well, that was a very strange game. We just lost our head coach, Tom Fears, and J.D. was our new head coach, J.D. Roberts. The team was in extreme turmoil. Half of them were glad to see the coach go, and the other half weren't glad to see him go. And we didn't know how we were going to play that day. And it just so happened that we played very tough that day. We played the Lions a good football game.
It was one of those tight games, back and forth. They took the lead, we took the lead. Right near the end of the game, they took the lead like 17-16. And there was less than a minute to go when we got the ball back.
So there was about 12 seconds on the clock, and Al Dodd was a split end for us. And I just got in the huddle and I said, Al, I want you to go down there at least 20 yards and make a good comeback, and I'll just get you the ball out there, and we'll try to get as many yards as we can. I think Detroit really thought the game was over anyway, and they didn't rush me very hard. And Al made a real nice move, and he just laid out and made a great catch and got in position.
I know what I was doing. I thought we had lost our mind. 63-yard field goal. I was walking down the sidelines towards the tunnel in old Tulane Stadium to go in the locker room. I thought we had lost our mind.
I was on my way into the locker room. Basically, I just thought I'd stop and watch him miss it and go on in with a win.
We knew it was far, but we didn't know it was 63. I mean, nobody said, hey, this is a 63-yard field goal. Probably would have tightened up, you know, if somebody would have said that, but we just kind of did it out of reaction rather than thinking.
I was basically thinking about the same things that I did every time I kick. Keep your head down, kick through the ball, but yet kick this one a little bit harder than you normally do.
I heard the ball hit his foot. His foot hit the ball. It was a sound unlike I'd ever heard, and it almost sounded like a cannon going off. That's the first thing that struck me, was that sound.
The moment he hit the ball, I said, my God, he made it. You could just see that ball just fire off his foot.
I don't really think it was larger than life. There's been a lot of other things in my life that I consider more important than the field goal. I think probably the most important thing to me is my family. My boy and my 2 little girls and my wife. I think the biggest thrill I have ever had is the day they were born.
During the 11 years that Archie Manning played for the Saints, they won just 26% of their games. Yet, even while the losses piled up, Manning never gave up. His skills as a quarterback were better than average, and his charisma made him a natural leader. Archie Manning was a classic example of a player who may not have won many games, but who possessed the heart of a champion.
The calendar read September 19, 1971. But in New Orleans, it felt more like day 1 AD. The Crescent City was heralding the arrival of a rookie quarterback named Archie Manning, the second coming in cleats. The New Orleans faithful had proclaimed this saint a god before he had even taken a snap in the pros. And in his very first game, Manning answered their prayers by pulling out the first opening day win in franchise history.
Looks back to his left. He flips one upstream. It is grabbed out of the air. The Saints have scored, and this place is...
I guess it's a great way to start a career, but on the other hand, it just, I think, built those expectations even higher for the fans here that I was going to be the savior for the franchise.
Manning had become a Dixieland hero in college, where he led Ole Miss to 2 bowl victories. And though he tried to teach the hapless Saints a degree of dignity, his teammates were pursuing their own degree from the School of Hard Knocks. Manning's fate was to be forever tied to the Saints. It might as well have been tied to a lead anchor.
It was just the luck of the draw for Archie. Archie's a great football player, and had he gone with a team like the Raiders or in Pittsburgh or whatever, they'd be talking about Archie Manning right now as one of the great quarterbacks of all time.
During Manning's 11 years with the Saints, they lost more games than any team in the league. And the only place you'll find him in the NFL record book is under the heading, most times sacked.
He was equally as good as any player in the league, but he was on the worst team in the league. And he got beat up. He was thrown around. I mean, he took more abuse than probably, or as much abuse as any quarterback in the National Football League, and it was tough. I don't like losing. A lot of people tell me, why don't you try to leave New Orleans and go somewhere else. I've kind of been on the sour side of it here and gone through it. I feel like it would be very rewarding and meaningful if I could be on a winner here, and that's why I want to stick it out. I want to stay here. I want to win here.
Manning had a deep attachment to New Orleans off the field as well. And there he was already a winner.
Come here, Scotty. Come here. Good raise, pal. Both of them. What'd you call me? Terry Bradshaw. Don't call me Terry Bradshaw. You hear, okay?
While Manning struggled to get the Saints a winning season, it was his additional curse that Terry Bradshaw, a Louisiana native, was winning 4 Super Bowls with Pittsburgh. But Manning's individual talent was too much to go unappreciated. And in 1978, he became the first player on a losing team to be named his conference's Player of the Year. In his quest for a winning season, Manning outlasted 6 head coaches in New Orleans. Then, in 1982, new coach Bum Phillips brought Manning's mission to an abrupt and unexpected end.
It really hurt me to get traded. I had played that long and had been told I was going to be here. I very much wanted to finish my career here, so I guess it broke my heart more than anything. And I told Bum, I said, you know, I'll forgive you for trading me,
I'll never forgive you for trading me to Houston, because it was a worse situation over there than it had been here.
As he had done for the Saints as a rookie, Manning led the Oilers to a win in his first game there. Unfortunately, they won only 2 of 21 after that. With the Oilers' lack of talent, they didn't have a chance. But even on the ugliest busted play, it would be wrong to say that they didn't have a prayer, as long as this former Saint was around.
I saw Renfro, and I was going to take a chance to get it to him, so I just whipped it underhand. He really made a bad cut or he would have scored. And I told Mike that if he'd have scored, that he and I would have been in Follies for the rest of our life.
Making the Follies films was an odd concern for Manning after 11 fun-filled years with the Saints. While his teammates bungled their way into the blooper reels, Manning often turned their hijinks into highlights and managed to retain at least a shred of dignity for the franchise.
I think when you talk about New Orleans Saints football, the first name that will ever come up always will be Archie Manning.
In 14 seasons as a pro, Archie Manning never had a winning season. But Manning was more than just another lovable loser. For while the debate may never end over which Hall of Fame quarterback was the best of the best, Manning was without question the best of the worst. And while today's more successful Saints have captured the heart of New Orleans, a warm spot remains for the man whose talent was great, but whose timing was not.